Robert, he, him in the UK, is a theist who says trans women are not women. So, Robert, you are live. Tell us. Make your argument.
Good evening. Before I make the argument, can I request a pronoun change or something along those lines?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't agree with like sort of the idea that I'm personally claiming the pronouns he, him. I just believe that males should be referred to as he, him. So I don't think they're sort of my pronouns, just in case people have that impression. But yeah, I just think that, sorry?
Am I allowed to go on, I didn't ask you this, Arden. Am I allowed to go on face journeys? Because I feel I'm going to go on a face journey.
Face journey away. I'm right there with you. Okay, proceed, Robert.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. So what we call, what are commonly called trans women are really men who wish they were women. So that's why I disagree with your show.
Robert, what's a woman?
A woman is an adult. A woman is an adult human female.
Why?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, you said
yes,
why.
I asked why.
Oh, why? Sorry, I thought you said what. Sorry. Why?
Oh.
Well, that's just the way the language is.
Okay, so it's just because this is the definition, this is what women have to be?
Yeah, that's what the word means in English.
Are definitions descriptive or are they prescriptive, Robert?
Could you explain? I don't know what you mean by that.
Sure. Do definitions describe how words are typically used, or do they prescribe correctness to words?
They describe.
I agree.
Therefore, we can't say this is this because the definition says so, because my argument would just be, so we change the definition. And then there's no contention with your argument because the definition is different.
Well, then I'd say that you don't have the authority to change the definition because, I don't think
you have the authority to set the definition? Why is your definition
what I'm doing is I'm reporting what the definition is. I'm not defining the definition. I'm reporting it.
What you're using is called an appeal to definitions fallacy. So it's saying because this definition is X, that means it must always be X. It has always been X. X is the correct thing. But language predates the definition. Language precedes dictionaries and it precedes the definition. So like the words can change. Like if I added it, which Merriam-Webster already has updated the definition of woman or updated the definition of female to just mean anybody whose gender identity is opposite of male. If this would be the case, you have no argument against this. If your argument is just the definition, well, here you go. The definition is different. And Merriam-Webster, I think, is an authority on what can and can't be a definition. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, they're one dictionary and, in a sense, one authority.
So definitions don't matter when they disagree with you. They only matter when they're the one you're comfortable with and that you're used to.
Well, wait. Would you admit that you're wrong if I showed you other dictionaries?
No, Robert, because dictionaries have nothing to do with the truth value of a claim. I want you to substantiate your claim with facts and evidence or an argument. I don't care what the definition says.
I also think adult human female can still be a definition of woman. I think words can have multiple definitions. So one definition can be an adult human female because there are women who are adult human females.
Well, I'm getting a little confused because if we were to take your line of reasoning and apply it to, let's say, what the meaning of rain is, and if I say, rain means when sort of water falls from the sky in a liquid form, something along those lines, and then you say, well, no, rain means when water falls from the sky in any form, then how should we decide which of us is correct?
Well, then we would look at all the times that rain has fallen, all the evidence of rain falling that we have, and evaluate whether or not it's solid, liquid, or whatever. We would evaluate the evidence and we would evaluate the argument, which is why we're saying we don't care what the definition is. The definition is just a description of how people are using the word. The definition isn't making the claim that women are female. It's just saying when people say women, they're probably usually referring to this concept. So we're asking you, to defend your definition. Why is it that adult human female is the definition you accept?
Well, if we're saying that definitions, wait a second. If we're saying that, language is descriptive, then surely all that I need to do from that point of view is just show that, the people using the language in the way that I claim are, in some sense, the majority or the authoritative group. Isn't that right?
No.
Okay, but then Robert, all that is an appeal to majority. So if you're telling me if we convince 51% of the world to, when they say the word woman, to include trans women in that definition, then you would agree that trans women are now women at this point.
Well, potentially, but I think I have reason not to do that. And while
it's not about the definition, right?
So
there are other reasons you believe trans women aren't women. It's not just because. Just really quick, when I asked you and I said, what's a woman and why is this a woman? Your answer was, well, just because that's what the definition is. But that's not the reason why you think trans women aren't women. There's some other categorical thing here. What is that thing?
Yeah, the other categorical thing is that when we talk about the majority, we need to specify the majority of who, because, you might...
Robert, this is not an answer to the question, and I'm concerned you're not listening. So I want to have this conversation with you, Robert.
Wow.
But listen, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
I want to have this conversation with you, right? But what you're saying right now is in no way a response to what Jovan's question was. So I want you to... That indicates to me that you aren't actually listening and you aren't actually trying to have a conversation. You are just kind of like... maybe panic going back to the thing you said at the beginning. So let's not do that. There's no reason to panic. We're all good here. Jovan, do you want to ask your question again and see if he can answer this time?
You.
Yeah. What is the categorical thing that women have that trans women don't? Because you're saying it's not about, we're understanding that it's not a definition thing, because even if 51% of people all agreed, you said, no, they're still not women. So there is something about the category women that trans women can't, and argue. This is the defeater. And nobody's ever been able to combat this argument. We're saying that there is a condition that is necessary for all women to have that trans women do not possess and that cis men do not possess, right? So what is that necessary condition? What is that category condition that is needed to fit into the category of woman?
Jovan, you have either I've made a mistake in how I've communicated my argument, or you've misunderstood because you've made a false assumption about my position.
So Robert,
please, can I elaborate?
Robert, no. Jovan just asked you a direct question, and what you're saying has nothing to do with an answer for it. I want an answer to the question. You please answer the question.
Cook. Maybe he's from the UK, he can cook. It won't taste good.
Okay.
But we can let him cook. If I misunderstood,
thank you.
I mean, I asked you very specifically, and you said if the majority of people don't mean trans women when they say women, and then I said if they do, would they be women? And you said no, because there's still something categorically that they're not meaning. So what did I misunderstand?
Thanks, Jovan. Yeah, so it's my fault, really. So when we talk about the majority, right, it's not simply about anyone who speaks English. That's not the majority in my position. What I believe it's the majority of English speakers who are not either enemies of the English people or carrying out the agenda of enemies of the English people. So to elaborate, so that you understand why I think this.
So like blue coats?
Let's imagine. Huh? Yeah. So let's imagine.
Go ahead. Let's imagine that, like John Lennon.
Thanks. Yeah. So let's imagine like we're in the Aztec civilization, and the Europeans arrive and they kind of wipe out our civilization. But some of these Europeans are kind of professors and academics, and so they want to study the Aztec language, and they start to learn how to speak the Aztec language, and they spread it amongst other Europeans, their fellow Europeans, so that other Europeans kind of learn how to speak Aztec. But in the process of this, they don't like how some of the Aztec words are being defined and used. They think, well, this Aztec word, it's a bit, distasteful to our preferences. And so we're going to change it.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything?
Wait, what are you doing? Let him cook. What are you doing? Let him cook.
Sorry, everything smells like it's burning. It smells like my house is about to burn down. So I'm a little concerned where the fuck we're going.
Thanks, Jovan. I'm almost done. Sorry. And so what I'm saying basically is that in this analogy, you people are the Spanish and I'm the Aztec, because you people, whether you realize this or not, you're carrying out. No, you're so wrong.
No, I'm going to stop you. You're done cooking. The fire is out. You're done cooking because you're so misinformed. Cultures before fucking the UK colonized them had varieties of genders. You are literally the colonizer and you don't even know it. And it's so painful listening to you talk, because also none of this is a response to what Jovan said or even an argument for the point that you made in the call screening. So I'm just totally fucking lost. I have no clue what you're talking about, how this is relevant to your argument. I'm so lost.
Justified crash out, honestly. So justified.
Do you follow kind of what I'm saying? Like, you understand how it relates to what I said earlier about majority now, hopefully?
Okay, Robert, listen. Let's just say 51% of whatever group you want it to be says trans women are now women. Do you agree that trans women are women?
If it was 51%, yes. Of my favored group, then yes.
Robert, that is a bad reason to believe trans women are women. I'm going to let you go because you are not a good thinker, and I'm sorry. I just can't handle this conversation anymore. Goodbye.
There was no argument. Your argument is if people all say they are, then they are. That's not an argument.
It's argumentum ad populum. Literally, this is so easy.
Sorry, you can clearly tell I've been doing this a while because I was like, no, Arden, these are clips. You have to let them talk.
That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes on the line, us raging out is a clip, but it is unbelievable. If the majority of the people in the world believe that farting created clouds and that's where clouds came from, then this guy would fucking say that that's where clouds come from. How stupid is that? That is the rage that I feel.
He said, so if you people...
You people, for real, he said that. You guys, listen. I went into that conversation. I've told you guys before, there's levels of the argument of trans women are not women, right? And I was expecting one of those levels. This didn't even get on the board. This isn't even, I genuinely haven't even heard someone sincerely take the claim that definitions are what make things something, because that's so dumb that okay, I'm gonna stop. Anyway.
There are some questions that I feel like if you ask them at the start, it basically is going to tell you the whole argument. And I hate to do what they say to do, but just ask them what's a woman. And then as soon as they give you a definition, ask them why. And it is, you're golden. You're pretty much golden.
Thing is, I was bracing myself for him to be like, a woman is the member of a species that produces the large immobile gamete. And I was being like, All right, I'm ready. I got my examples of people who are uncontroversially women that don't have large mobile gametes. Like, we're going to have this conversation. We're going to start parsing out what is female. And we didn't even...
But even if you do all that, almost every person that I've talked to that is a transphobe, it still always boils down to the language. So even if they give me that definition, I'm going to be like, why is that a woman?
Yeah.
And they're gonna have nothing.
Crashes out. Yeah, every time. It's so frustrating. And it's wild too, because did he say at the end that we didn't even hear his argument? Is that what he actually said? I heard the word argument.
His argument back to him like 4 times.
I stopped myself from jumping in to stop his argument because you told me to let him cook. I let him go way longer than I normally would have. I tend to...
You gotta let them cook.
Right. That is good cook material.
Maybe it's that I've been doing this for 4 years, but I can tell almost immediately at the start of an argument if what I'm about to hear is gonna be comedy gold.
Yeah.
And I was not mistaken, because I don't know where the Aztecs...
Yeah. And he started off with this weird thing about not possessing the pronouns. Like, my God, you're so confused at every level.
That's what clued me in. Yeah, I was like,
bro,
what do you mean nobody possesses pronouns? They're third person, which means that you don't possess them. They're possessed by other people.
Right. It's literally... okay. We have callers. We have 4 more callers. We're going to get to all of you guys if you're hearing us right now. Don't forget to, if you send a super chat of $5 or more, we're going to read all those out live on air. So you can make us say dumb shit if you want to. Do that. Give us money.
Thank you for watching that clip. If you enjoyed it, perhaps you should join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
At patreon.com/calltheline.